Welcome to the first episode of We Are All Organizers. The goal is to get people in your community engaged in the political process all year long, so that when it's time to vote and show up to take action, that they're ready to do so. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. I have been a precinct chair and vice chair in two of the counties that I have lived in over the past 10 years for the Democratic Party. I'm an election worker, and I work with local organizing groups that I will help you get in touch with. We're going to start by organizing from the bottom up. When people know their local candidates and elected officials, it makes them feel more connected to the political process and to the policies that these people are responsible for enacting that affect your everyday life. My state senator lives in my neighborhood. I found out that she was running, I connected with her, I made some videos with her, I volunteered for her campaign, and then I told everybody I know about her. I told them what she stood for, that I knew her personally, that she was on the right side of things, and that she was really going to work hard for us. And that made a difference. These people showed up to vote for her. She won by less than 200 votes in a very gerrymandered district. The Republicans literally set up our district so that they could win it, and she won. So this local organizing makes a huge difference. So we're going to start off with primary elections. In most states, they have a primary once a year. And in the off years, you're talking about local candidates or municipality elections. And most of these elections, depending on how gerrymandered your district is or how partisan it is, they are won in the primary. If you've ever gone to the ballot box in November, you notice that some positions run unopposed. It's because the minority party doesn't bother putting somebody up, but that candidate might have had a challenger in the primary. And because we have such low turnout, they win even before the election starts. So only about 5 to 20% of registered voters actually show up to the primary. Now, when I'm working those elections, they are so boring and very depressing because nobody shows up. And so take my precinct, for example. We have about 5,000 registered voters, and it's split into a third. So we have a third Democrat, third Republican, third Independent. So that means that a candidate could get 85 to 300 people to vote for them, and they win the election in the primary. That's insane. That's a really small number, but it's also really great information for us because it lets us know that even a small amount of organizing can make a huge difference in our community. So you were talking about positions like city council, mayor, school board, sanitation, fire and water, parks and rec. These are things that affect people's everyday lives, and a lot of people stay home. You're talking about a really small number of people making big decisions on who will run these things before we even know that they're running. In addition to electing these really important positions in our community, primaries set us up to be successful in the general election. So one thing that they do is they get people used to voting twice a year. Everyone should be voting twice a year. The other thing it does is it helps make sure people are registered to vote. Okay, I worked the election. There were a lot of people who came in who vote once every 4 years. They were not prepared. They were upset that they weren't able to vote. They weren't registered properly. This gets people in the habit to make sure they are prepared when we have bigger general elections. The other thing it does is it gets people more involved with politics on a personal level. You vote for someone in the primary, then you vote for them again in the general election. You see them on TV, you see them in ads, you get postcards in your mailbox. You start to recognize these people, and it motivates people to get out and vote for people that they know and they like and they see working for us in our community. It's also an opportunity for people to connect in person. I get to know my local candidates. They have events at coffee shops, at breweries, pizza events, all sorts of things that you can show up and talk to people one-on-one. And it helps us connect with more like-minded people, which makes it seem a little less challenging. And it's just nice to talk to a local candidate face to face to see that they're not crazy. So, what's the first thing you should do? You can go to iwillvote.com or directly to your state Board of Elections website and look to see when your first primary election is up. Not all the states have theirs up yet, but they will within the next month or so. So, I know where I live, I think we have one in March that's coming up. And what I will do is I will print out my sample ballot. I will click off who I'm going to vote for, and then I will send that to my friends and family. I will text it to everyone I know. I will tell them exactly when the primary is and where and when they can vote. So this makes a difference. I have a huge list of people that I send my ballot to. And I can tell you in this last election, if I forgot anyone or they were ready to vote before I was, they were texting me and asking me to send them their sample ballot because I've become a trusted source for who to vote for. And not all of these positions are labeled Democrat, Republican, Independent. And so they want to know, do you know this person? Have you met them? And I can say, yes, I have. I've met this person. I know what they stand for. And that also helps drive voter turnout. I have seen a lot of people, they don't want to go vote because they're like, I don't know who to vote for. I don't even know who's running or what's going on. You can be that person to help them get informed and motivate them to get to the polls. So again, primary elections is a really great way to start to get people involved in the political process early, especially in these off years. So please share this information, share my Instagram page. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you have any feedback, if there's any topics you want covered moving forward. Next week, we'll probably look a little bit deeper at how to get in touch with local candidates and how to connect with them and some of our local organizers on the ground already doing the work. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you next week.